Here's a little bonus to the video I made last night. The 3 years since, so, I lived in this house for a long time. When I watched HTB or UTB Hollywood, which was on digital channel 18.2, and this started out in 2009 to 2016. The show, the network lasted for 7 years, and it moved to Japan Hollywood Network on digital channel 44.1 in Los Angeles. So this is all Los Angeles, okay? Uh, Nihongo Benkyo Shiteru. So I learned a lot. I got into the Japanese culture. But when I started moving into this house and I started arranging a schedule for myself, I think one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to have different kinds of food every month. So what I would do is the first week I would go and cook my own meals, right? Yeah, I know, like different, like the seafood lasagna with the shrimp and the scallops was very good. I don't care if people didn't like it, but it was a very good meal. So I would cook my own meals the first week. I could make a casserole or hamburger helper or rice or spaghetti or stir fry noodles or lasagna, whatever I could make. Italian lasagna, Mexican lasagna, seafood lasagna. That was the first week. Second week, I would go to stores like Marukai, you see here in Nijiya, in Little Tokyo. And then the third week, I would have sandwiches. Just make like ham and Swiss, ham and American cheese, turkey sandwiches, Italian style sandwiches, something very cheap, very economical and fast. And then the final week of the month, I would do fast food or canned goods or frozen pizzas or TV dinners or ready in a box, whatever, canned meat, canned soup, whatever fast food. So the first week was cooked meals, right? Second week was Japanese food. Third week was sandwiches, and the fourth week was fast food. And one of the stores I would go to was Marukai, and up until 2020, everything was fine. I would start going there and actually I started shopping there in 2010, 20. So for 10 years, I shopped at Marukai Market and I was treated with the same amount of respect that I gave to the people. I never stole. I never made a scene. I never whipped it out. Never harassed anybody. You had a couple of security guards in there, always kind of making sure everything's fine. Nothing, no problem, okay? Then we get to the pandemic and the lockdowns and the mask mandates and all this shit. And Marukai, I remember walking in that last time. Now, I go on a Razor scooter. You can see the Razor scooter over there. And it wasn't that one, but I had one similar to that. And I go in and what I do is I put my scooter into a shopping cart so I can lift the weight, take the weight off the plates of meat, as they say in Europe phrase. Relieve yourself here, a burden. So I put the scooter into the shopping cart. The security guard, some new guy, okay, because I never seen this guy before. He comes and says, "Excuse me, sir, we don't allow people to do that. You're not allowed to put the scooter into the shopping cart." It's like, why? I'm a guest. I'm a patron. I'm a customer. I've been a customer for 10 years. We have a policy that's COVID-19 policy. You're not allowed to do this because your scooter could contaminate the cart. But I said, but the cart's been outside. There are germs everywhere. Well, your germs are touching the cart. And I'm like, but there are germs everywhere. You're not a fucking doctor and you're not a scientist. So how about you back off? I said, you need to put your scooter on. You could carry your scooter, or I can hold on to it. I said, I don't trust you. And you could easily give it to somebody or get it stolen or look the other way. So you're responsible, right? You're responsible for my scooter. And he denied responsibility, of course, because why would he admit responsibility? So I couldn't put my scooter into the shopping cart, which, I mean, it took up most of the space, by the way, but it wasn't like an inconvenience. So, and it's like, and eventually I told him, look, you can wipe down the shopping carts. You've got employees here who can do that. And by the way, there are people at Albertsons I think they still do this, but I think either they do this at Target or Albertsons now, or they have sanitary wipes. They still have sanitary wipes. So there's a little bit of consciousness now after the lockdowns, as far as I see. You might see it at your supermarket. Either you see people wiping down shopping carts for sterile, or you just see sanitary wipes at your supermarket. But they gave me shit. I said, you could have the employees wipe down the carts. They could wipe down the carts. So I carried I carried my scooter on my shoulder, and I got the food. People just gave me looks. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding? And here's the thing. I was the only one in the fucking store. I was the only customer. There was nobody else. So this guy was just trying to make me suck his dick or fuck him in the ass because reasons. So that was shit. So I eventually got my stuff, and then the people that gave me a hard time because they knew I was full of shit. They knew that I was pissed off, and they were full of shit. And I got into an argument with one of the cashiers. We got to put your mask on, and I kept trying to, because I was arguing with the guard, and they knew I was pissed. So, the whole Go Home Japs, when you see in the 99 Years of Love documentary, if anybody's ever seen that, it's basically a series of short movies where the Japanese are treated with disrespect, but it was so linear. I didn't really like it as much as I wanted it to. But I felt that Go Home Japs feeling in my stomach. I felt sick. I felt sick to my stomach. And then we get to Nijiya Market. So I go here, and so during the pandemic, there was a line to here. So you would look here, right? And you would see a line to go in because they had to have, as you knew back then, there was a policy of how many people could be in the store. Remember that? Besides people buying up toilet paper, how many people could be in the store? And so there are these two dumbass looking security guards. They, sir, are you going to carry that scooter? So they see my scooter, the gray and red one, to carry, and then they say, "Are you going to bring it in? You're not going to ride that thing around?" And he's like, "No, I'm not going to really ride that around. I'm not going to ride it around. We could watch it for you." I said, "I really don't trust you. I don't know you." So they started treating me like a child, and I'm like, "Okay, this is bullshit." So I stopped shopping here because I didn't want them to make me put the scooter outside where anybody could just walk over, grab it, and run off out into the street, and before anybody knew what happened. Because all they have to do is just steal the scooter when the security guard is not responsible for your shit. What's he gonna do? Somebody steals my scooter, scoots off with it out into 3rd Street, and before they even knew what's going on, they're like, "Oh, well, I don't know what happened to your scooter." I said, "You motherfuckers said you were supposed to watch it." "I don't know, we're not responsible." So you wanted me to lose my scooter for a laugh. Go fuck your mother's ass till she bleeds, you piece of shit. I haven't even said that to them at that point. I was like, I just basically told them, all I really said was that I was not going to write it in the store, and I didn't need to. It's a small claustrophobic store. Why would I need to write it? I'm not some autistic, spastic. Sorry if you're offended by these words, but I'm not some idiot that's going to write. I'm not Chris Chan that tried to molest his mother. I'm not going to write it out in the store. It's stupid. And then finally we get to the main event here. This is the little Tokyo Mart. That's part of a shopping mall that you see when you go west on 4th Street. You're coming off the bridge on 4th. And just before you hit San Pedro and all that, Los Angeles Road, before you hit the entertainment area for Little Tokyo, you see this place. This is the market. And I remember it was Little Tokyo Mart, and then it turned to something else. It was like a Korean-owned mart. So they put their Korean products in there. A lot of the Japanese food wasn't in there as much, but they started putting it back ever so slightly because it was Little Tokyo, not Koreatown. Okay. So you have to put Japanese stuff more. It was more important to have the culture of Japan there, in case anybody tries to be, I'm anti-woke. We're talking about Japanese culture here. These people have lost so much, but I just sense arrogance. So eventually I stopped coming here because they wanted me to drop off my backpack. Now, anybody who's ever known me for a long time, if you've ever been my longtime subscriber, you know I don't stand for that shit. There has never been evidence that only people with backpacks steal. There has never been evidence. No one has ever proven this shit. You got women with bags the size of Datsuns, the size of purses and bags small enough to put a dog in there. But I can't bring my backpack in the store, but women can. The shit that I have to eat for other people. So fuck you, Nijiya Market. Fuck you, Marukai Market. Fuck you, Little Tokyo Mart. I haven't gone back to these stores since the and this one actually I went to the longest. But I think after late 2020, I was done. I had enough. So now I rotate on 3 weeks. I get fast foods, I get sandwiches, and I make my own meals. And if I make any Japanese meals, I do. There's some Japanese restaurants opening up in the strip mall next to where I live, so it won't be that bad. I won't have to take a bus to go eat Japanese food. There's other alternatives, and I'm glad for those. Um, yeah, this was a little bonus that I added on to my life. So this was something I had changed. If you like what you see, this is good enough for you. You see those icons below, you know what to do.